Loose time, Rod. See, like
Okay,
that's
Michael.
why Jason doesn't. Or wait, whoa! I just said Jason. That's why Mike Myers doesn't talk because can you even hear me, Rod?
You can hear you. We can hear it back. It's coming from behind a mask, though. Like, it's why none of them. I mean, the only one who talks is like Ghostface, really. That like wears them.
Well, you had Tyler Mane, Michael Myers talking in like the second Rob Zombie movie. Didn't he just scream like "die"?
Something like that. He was yelling at
Loomis. He was just like, "Arr." It's like, dude, shut up.
I don't know why I had that mask on the whole time before we started the show, and then I took it off as soon as the show fucking started. I could have had it on for longer, but I already can't fucking breathe. So
it's probably better this way anyway, so your audio is clear. So,
dude,
I mean,
Rod, it's episode 107. What's up, man? Murder Moose time.
We're moosing it, and one of our besties, one of our oldie but goodies, Jerry's back in his with his pink curtains. There might be some killer dolls behind him. They may have sent him I think that's how they got Jerry to score the Puppet Master film. They sent the little evil dolls to get him.
No
that's
way.
just a fuckable cactus, Jerry. But that's different.
You say
No,
fuckable?
I haven't been able to talk them into sending me the dolls yet. I really wish they would.
Yeah, I would think that you would get at least. Just every single Puppet Master introduce a new doll or some new dolls. I assume
not everyone, but for the most part, there's usually a new one.
Yeah, it's like Cenobites, right? Like you always get new ones, and because why not? You could go wild, ham wild, and just do crazy shit. But yes, guys, we are Murder Moose, part of the Slash and Cast Podcast Network.
It's in the game.
There you go, Josh. It's in the game. We are here with the good old man. Good old man. I didn't mean to call you old, Jerry, but here I go because I'm not that far behind you. With our good friend Jerry. Jerry's just okay. What's up, dude? It's good to see you because we had the last couple times we tried to have you on. It's been your life is chaos incarnate. So.
Dude, the last couple, it's like the last dozen.
Yeah, we had a joke on the show for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm surprised that I showed up this time.
I would hey, wait, Jerry, wait, he's here. Look at that. But it would be like this when I'd be like, yo, where's Jerry?
It becomes like the Jimmy Kimmel, Matt Damon joke.
Yeah, totally.
Who's this man? He's just imaginary. We just talk. He's like Sasquatch. We just talk about him in reference. And there's
I'm super stoked. I've missed this show, so yeah, I'm stoked.
Yeah, dude, it's I was like, we have to have Jerry on. You and I talked about Halloween Kills last year, and this one is, dude, it's fucking crazy, Jerry. As you can see, how we're talking about Halloween Ends today, and you could talk about how both these films have come out in the last year, and people are saying the most insane shit. People are losing their minds about this one even more than the last one, and it's right. I don't understand. You guys, this is the problem with calling every film that comes out the worst film ever made. You just start looking like lunatics because every film can't be the worst film that ever came out, and you keep going. Oh my god, it's the worst. I mean, it's in the last 15 years we've had Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is the worst film ever made. We've had this is Halloween Kills is the worst film ever made. Halloween Ends is the worst. It's just shut up. It's just if you don't like it,
At this point, I'm really wondering if any of them like a single Halloween movie.
Yeah.
Because every single time one of them comes out, it's the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
And this makes me sound like an asshole, so I apologize to the listeners. But I have blocked so many motherfuckers in the last 3 days, not because they didn't like the movie, because I have some big issues with it too.
Yeah.
But because anyone that immediately slams a movie calling it the worst piece of shit ever. Yeah. First of all, I don't want to know you because you haven't watched that many movies then.
Yeah.
It's weird.
We could send you to Sharks of the Corn and you tell me that piece of shit was the worst. And it's that the human brain thing where people are everything, like you got to be negative about everything, especially in the internet age where people get more attention.
It's
just
getting worse though. Like it's getting
Yeah.
stupidly worse. Like people don't like it. They already have their pitchforks and they're like, let's fucking go. Something new's out. Like I don't understand it. It just doesn't make sense.
That and one thing I've learned, and it's not like some profound thing. We've all know this, but like if it's too close to the original, then they're not doing anything but fan service. If it's too weird, it's nothing like the original. Like these people are just never happy. And it's just like at this point, and I went on some long rant on the Kills episode, so I'll save that again. But at this point, we've had Michael Myers fucking stalking a babysitter.
Yep.
We've had Michael Myers suddenly stalking his sister, going after his niece, being led by a senior citizen cult, being broken out of jail with an Uzi, being on a reality show with Busta Rhymes, going against Josh Hartnett's messed up hair, being a long-haired Kiss fan that killed everyone because he didn't get to go trick-or-treating, talking to a white horse and a ghost mom. And I'm sorry, but like this movie bothers you?
Yeah.
He was hiding underneath a bridge for too long. I didn't shut the fuck up. Like
like they were pissed. They were pissed that he was basically the Terminator in Kills. And they're like, well, they promised in 2018 that he was a human being. So they're like, you know what? Damage control. He's a human being and he's been under a bridge dying and being weak as shit. And then that wasn't good enough either. So you know what I'd like them to do for the next movie when they eventually reboot it?
Yeah.
Is just take every single one of their complaints and just make that the entire movie.
At this point, I just want Jason. I want him like to pull a Jason X, and like I want Michael Myers in space because like I don't understand.
I wish they would do that. I fucking love Jason X.
Clive Barker wanted to do Hellraiser meets Halloween for a while.
Yeah. And now that we've got, I mean, dude, we're in the prime, like, everything's coming back, right? We've gotten last year, we've gotten Chucky comes back. We've gotten like, we have Michael coming back since 2018. We have like all these things that are just like Leatherface even coming back. And it's just like,
you have pedophilia coming back with Jeepers Creepers. It's all coming back.
I will never forget, like long before I knew that piece of shit was the piece of shit he is. I saw that movie in the theater and was like, that ending, it was one of those endings that made me angry and hate everything that had come before it. And I'm like, and then you find out later, he's a fucking pedophile, and you go, I mean, it tracks up. And I just don't get why people like keep giving that piece of shit like more attention. And I hear, according to anyone who's seen that new film, that they've turned him into a slasher in the new one. And I'm like, well, at least, I mean, he's not supposedly getting any income, but like, this is the thing I hate. And we live in a world in 2022 where there's enough content everywhere. Can we drop the fucking toxic piece of shit creators and just let them go and not keep them around? J.K. fucking Rowling is the most miserable fucking human being alive and keeps getting money because people love Harry Potter. And it's like, dude, that bitch was like, someone was calling her out about her bullshit the other day, and she's like, every time I get a residuals check, I don't give. And it's like, you fucking evil cunts.
I know, it's brutal.
Cunts. And I was like, made me angry.
The internet backlash for Halloween Ends has become like so overwhelming, and not even just like Halloween Kills, not even in like a negative way too. Like that, that for sure. But even like the people who don't understand that some people aren't gonna like shit.
Yeah.
Like it's there's no middle ground. There's no people being like, oh, it didn't work for me, or it did work for me. It's like, you didn't like it, you're not a real fan. You liked it, you're not a real fan. It's like, I'm sorry, motherfucker. Did you guys do the music for Halloween Resurrection? Fuck you guys. I'm a real fan.
I mean, that's why like I got introduced to you, Jerry. It was like you being the Halloween guy. And it's just like, which is why I was like, besides you and I talking Kills together last year, it's like, that's like, you were like,
that would have been a good episode to have me there for, because like, it's a weird thing that the internet did with the two. I honestly like this one so much more than I liked Kills, because Kills, just like the characters' decisions and everything they did in it didn't make sense. Like it was like it was the mob, it was the internet going after, and it was clunky. This one felt character driven very heavily, but it was good because it was an ending.
Yeah.
This one to me, I'm trying to word it like as eloquently as I can. This one to me was so much like Halloween 5 in the sense that Halloween 5, I have like a 70-30 relationship with that movie.
Yeah.
70% I think it's absolutely terrifying, it's great. But then there's the penguin walking sound effects cops. There's the Uzi jailbreak at the end. There's a couple things in Halloween 5 that every single time I watch it, I go, this movie's almost brilliant to me.
Yeah.
This one, I loved it, but there's a couple things in it that like make me want to scream.
Yeah. The beginning of this film of Halloween Ends kind of reminded me of like something the director who made Drive and like those other weird Gosling movies with like the weird like I don't know, Carpenter went real like 80s sounding for like that beginning third of the movie.
I loved it.
Yeah, and it was very like, it wasn't like anything else that I've heard in one of the films, and it was just, it's odd to the point where I'm like, I was intrigued, but I'm like, I don't know. This is the weirdest, like, I mean, outside of white horses and dead mothers in Halloween 2 from Zombie, it's like, it's a weird thing. And that's why if I would have gotten a chance to watch it again, I would have probably like, I kind of had the same thing after Halloween Kills. Halloween Kills is a weird, like, not expected kind of film. And like, I think when you go in watching that film and you know the silly, stupid stuff with the mob, you're like, whatever, it's not as big of a deal, right? This film, I feel like that first, when you kind of know where the whole Corey thing is going and kind of where the whole your end game is, you're not as like going sitting there internally in your head going, what the fuck, what like it makes watching a film easier, like especially when it's weird. Like I think Malignant is another one Jared and I talked about, but like Malignant is also a really weird film to watch, especially in like even when you know, but like that first watch, you're like, what? It's kind of like
it's a strange one, and you and I have talked about it several times, and I kind of like dunked on it a bit, but then I've watched it again, and I love how like I feel like zany is a perfect word to use to describe it. And if you use it and think of it in that context through that lens, it's so fun. It's such a zany movie. And like you saying that it was a B movie with not a B movie like budget, I was like, it totally is. It's James Wan has worked his name and his cachet up to a certain level that he gets that money thrown at him, but he can still have fun and do zany B type movies, but it's studio funded. So yeah, it was zany and it was fun. So I'm team Malignant.
Dude, it's great. I think with this trilogy, the David Gordon Green films, I think that a lot of people seem to be really offended that they've been about shit. You know what I mean? Like I'm sorry that they have like deeper meaning. Like to me, and we all remember this on the Halloween Kills episode, but for me, Halloween Kills was like Haddonfield unraveling, wanting revenge for like the pain that they went through for decades. Yeah. And everyone loves to point out the Evil Dies Tonight thing, which is cheesy as shit, but it was supposed to be. Evil Dies Tonight in that movie is the catchphrase that the Red Hats made. It's Haddonfield being so pissed off that they're rushing into their own deaths instead of knowing how to properly process this. Yeah. They're supposed to do that. Whereas Halloween Ends, what it is, it's all of them letting go and being like, that bloodlust got us nowhere but slaughtered. Yeah. We need to let it go. And I think that's what prepares Laurie. That's what prepares everybody for closure in this movie is the fact that like when you live your life for revenge, nothing but destruction is going to come to you. You have to move on. And I think like I read one review. I read reviews talk about like, oh, it's good to lay the trauma trilogy to rest. It's like, I'm sorry that at this point, 13 movies in, I'd like these movies to be about something.
Yeah.
But it shows the effects of it, like the ripple effect. It's not just one person, it's the ripple effect of how it's affecting all the other people. And I love when it turns it makes the stakes so much higher for someone who's murder killing tons and tons of people. The ripple effect is huge, but then it also turns everyone else into monsters, and everyone is a fucking asshole because they're so negatively affected by this, and it shows, like, I don't know, these people are the villains, but everyone else is acting like a villain to them.
Well, totally. And I've always said that Tommy, to me, is the villain of Halloween Kills.
Yeah.
Because it's his ignorance. It's his ignorance that gets most of those people killed. Yeah. And it's him. It's Tommy hijacking Laurie's pain. That's what Kills is. It's all of Haddonfield hijacking each other's pain because they want to be the ones to get revenge, and they all get killed for it.
And Tommy, and you look at it like this way, because I was thinking about it, was all the fucked up shit he did. You see the dominoes that lead to Corey being where he was for the entire film, and lead to what happened to Corey. Because you have an entire town, like you said, of assholes. You have the fucking, if they're not like, they're saying shitty things to Laurie, they're saying shitty things to fucking Corey. They're saying shit like, this fucking kid is like traumatized after he yeeted it. Dude, I still laughed at that fucking kid going, woo! But it, like, all these people, the way you treat people and the way you treat people like outcasts, and you treat people like they're like, you know, that they did all this shit. And guess what happens? You fucking break people, right? You break an entire town of people. You break all these people, and it's just like, and guess what happens? You have all these outcasts, and then you go, what happens when people are outcasts? They do crazy shit. I mean, it's
I love that opening, man. The opening hits fucking hard, and it sets up like stakes, like for a new character, and like you see a for someone that's introduced in a movie, the last one, his character arc was fucking pretty good, man. Like, it shows like his progression into fucking madness pretty well, and I thought he was a really good addition. He had the like that death stare that you need to be sinister.
That, and I thought the Corey stuff was really enthralling, to be honest. And like people complaining about the lack of Myers for the most part. He's in this movie almost 2 minutes more than he is in the first movie, the original.
Yeah, we were talking about that before you got on, Jerry. Yeah,
I think people are so conditioned to what we saw in the later Halloween movies, starting with 4, that they're expecting these movies to be Michael Myers, when in reality the movies were never about Michael Myers. You know, and even I read something this morning where someone had a really good point that if anything, what Ends does is makes good on what Carpenter set up in the original, that Michael Myers really isn't a person. It's a shape of evil, and evil is a shape that grows with time, that can infect people and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and that's like, I was wondering if that whole scene where Corey looks into Michael's eyes, if like, I wasn't quite sure, as I see you, I was wondering, it was just one, it was the only time they did anything like that in the film. 2, they don't give you any kind of because it almost seems like they're trying to, like, I was like wondering if they were trying to say like Michael's evil was passing on to Corey or something like that. I'm like, which would be a weird thought process anyways, because he just fucking like, he just stabbed a homeless dude out, like because he stabbed the homeless dude right before that happened, right? Like, it's like you're sitting there going, this dude was I mean, him yeeting the kid off the 3rd floor was an accident, but like him stabbing that crazy homeless dude was like, we go, oh, okay, this is it
was the test to see. It's just like everyone thinks this, but he's been gradually pushed over the edge. Like you have an accident.
Literally.
Yeah. Legitimately. He got pushed over the edge, and then he continued over. But like you make one mistake in your life, and the whole, like, your whole world turns on you, and you have to like, you're not allowed to live anymore. And like, he goes out and he he lets go for a half a second, and that lady just happens to be there, and she's never gonna let go of that. Like, come on. But what she did was wrong as well. It just like everyone's it's all about the bad decisions that people make after trauma, essentially.
Yeah.
That moment, the eye thing, was one of the few things that when it happened, I was just like, inside my brain, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And I immediately got it that same exact second. I got a text from my wife saying, yeah, I don't know about this movie. Because like I've always, like, not always, because it's been out for like a few days, but since watching it, I am passionately for the idea that was unnecessary. Because what I think would have made the movie just 100% for me is showing the effects of someone who's kind of been pushed and someone who's living in the shadow of this legend, and everyone's comparing him to it. And I would have loved if it was Corey losing his grasp on everything while eventually trying to emulate Michael until Michael is fed up with it. I don't need the supernatural connection. I thought that was like hokey as shit.
Yeah.
And the other thing that just drove me absolutely fucking nuts, I don't want to see the slasher Batman and Robin doing it. Like, oh my fucking God. Like, that was enough for me to be like, do I enjoy this movie?
Yeah.
And thankfully, everything before and after, yes, I loved it. But those two things, holy moly.
It just seemed like an odd choice for like the character, right? Like it, and like they also do the thing where he gets to kill, like it's the cop, right? When like they're killing the cop, and when he gets, it's like the power of killing him is like you know, like leveling up Michael. It's like is refilling his health bar. He's like had a health pack in a video game, right? And it's like I was like I feel like there were weird oddities that don't really make sense with Michael Myers in the film, like the eyes and that, and it's just like, and they're just, it's weirder because they're not all over the place, right? They're like one here and like one here, like the two. It's like they're not all over, so you're not even going all in on like the mystical aspect of Michael Myers. You're going, he's just a dude who like, you know, kill him. Like, was the whole point of Halloween Kills, right? Is that he's not obsessed with Laurie. He just wants to. I still don't know why the thing they kept saying in Kills, and then they bring it in the ends like he just wants to kill and go home. It's like when is this motherfucker killed and gone home? I guess I guess in the original they're saying he went back to his house.
I don't even think. I could be wrong, but I don't even think the eye thing was intentional. I think it was just an editing thing where they're like, let's show Corey's trauma. But the way it was executed, it's like, is this Halloween 5? Is there a telepathic connection?
Yeah.
Or what are you doing with this? And they did nothing with it.
Yeah. It's a weird choice where like you're going, this is like, you've done some cool, unique things, but it's like, if you're gonna go completely batshit crazy like Zombie did, go batshit crazy and just fucking embrace the crazy.
I think the most frustrating thing for me is it is on the cusp of genius for me.
Yeah,
it is right there as far as being one of my favorite sequels.
Yeah,
but those things drive me fucking nuts so much that
I was so confused, like, because I watched it as soon as I could. I hate that I heard that someone, spoiled it in any way, shape, or form to you. Like that, just even hearing that
movie,
it pisses me off so much that we live in a world that people are getting off on doing that because they know how like invested you as a person are going to be. Like, fuck that guy, whoever he is. But like when I watched it, because I didn't want to wait because I knew we live in a troll world. I was like, man, I feel satisfied by what I just watched. There was good death scenes. There was enough good to offset any kind of, gripes I might have had with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like, man, I can't wait to see how many people feel the same as me. And there was like fucking no one. I was like, what is happening? It was the pitchforks were already coming out, and as soon as you saw the Rotten Tomatoes meter going down, everyone was like, hell yeah, let's push it down further. And I
It's because everyone wants to be the loudest descent-filled person. Everyone wants to be that dude that first talked shit about it, you know? And it's just like, what I've noticed is it seems to be the same people that didn't like any of the three movies. You know, like I haven't come across someone that's like, man, I love 2018 and Kills, but this one's a turd. It seems like it's the people that never really got on board with this new storyline that hate it most venomously. And it's like, dude, I'm sorry, but I don't want Halloween Kills again. And I say that as someone who loved that movie. I don't want a single Halloween movie again in this movie other than what it's supposed to be.
Yep.
I'm able to separate everything that came before it and try to appreciate a movie based on what it set out to do. And dude, as someone who has spent my entire life just identifying with Laurie Strode more than any fictional character in my life, this is the closure that she deserved. This is the closure that I felt robbed of when I saw Halloween H2O. And I get a lot of shit for that. That is my resurrection in many ways. Yeah. I cannot stand H2O at all. Yeah. But like, this is the closure I wanted for Laurie when I saw that movie in 98.
Yeah. Well, that movie is as many people put it, they call it Scream Halloween, right? Because it's more like a Scream movie than it is a Halloween movie. It's that single location. It doesn't feel like Michael Myers. It just feels like generic, like that. I mean, the CGI mask, one of the worst things of all time, right? But like, it's a weird, like,
when you have such an icon, like, why would you ever like even think that is like
that? And what's frustrating is these people are saying The Ends is the worst movie in the series and that it's not like the other movies. What part of H2O being a movie set in California at a private school with LL Cool J as a security guard and Laurie Strode as just an asshole? Where is the connection to the original feeling of the OG movie?
Yeah. Well, dude, it's the same thing where like I am a huge fan of Halloween 2 from Zombie. The food, it's bonkers. It's killer.
See, that's another one that I'm not a fan of. I liked his first one, and I thought he went a little too Rob Zombie on it. But
see, I that movie grew on me. Yeah, I've grown to appreciate the second one.
I hate his first one now because his first one is nothing like
it is. It's a remake.
It's all he adds is redneck anger in like Michael Myers being a kid who just says insane.
But it was I feel like his use of the dark blood. I always love darker blood. It just looks more brutal to me. His sound design and sound effects were the most brutal of any Halloween movie made before or after it. And it was violent. It felt fucking violent. And I loved that aspect of it.
Yeah.
People have been lately saying, well, we all owe Rob Zombie's films an apology after these ones. And here's the difference to me. While I respect the fact that they exist, the fundamental difference, yes, there are similar beats and plot between Halloween Ends and Halloween 2. And yes, you know, in some of the David Gordon Green movies, yes, there's similar stuff to both Rob Zombie movies. But for me, the difference is the approach to the characters. In the Rob Zombie movies, even though I've grown to appreciate the second one, in the Rob Zombie movies, I hate every fucking character on screen. Yeah. And with the David Gordon Green movies, I love those characters. I care about those characters.
They're characters.
Exactly. And Frank and Laurie in Ends, dude, that I didn't need to see Ben Tramer in this movie, and that says a lot. You know what I mean? Like at first I was like, I wonder if Ben Tramer's going to show up. Yeah. But dude, Frank and Laurie in this movie, that's my favorite part of the whole movie.
Yeah. Well, you get Laurie like finally coming to terms with everything, right? You get her like writing that book. You get her like trying. I mean, she's still fucking bonkers, right? Like, but she's like kind of.
Yeah, but you get shades of that original Laurie from the first one. The way that she's twirling her hair, kind of flirting with Frank. It's that awkward. It's that awkward character from the original movie that we haven't gotten to see since 1978. Yeah.
I love Frank. His hair he looks like he got out of bed the entire film. Like, right? I'm like, those two are so fucking cute, and it's like like when you're having all these other characters. Like my wife was very excited when the older black lady rolled in because she had wondered if she was going to live through that. And I'm
Right.
like,
Totally.
I don't know how you get a light tube through the neck like that, and you're not dead, but like
It was the like that was one of the things. Like I loved that people were coming up and having like reactions to it, but the timing of it was a little like it was a little too like, oh, we're showing that people are able to be happy. No, fuck that. Get fucking shit on instantly. And then it was, I just felt like the editing didn't allow for enough like breathing between things like that. Like it felt like the editing was a little too like quick in those spots. I felt like give her a moment to feel happy and the timing of it. Cause like all of a sudden she's like cut to her in the car crying. And I know it happened like that, but I don't know. I felt, I used the word clunky again. Like, I'm all about the feeling of, and I don't know. It felt like it was forced a little too much.
It's the whole like because of the town being like filled with so many shitty people, right? Like that's the kind of thing you get, like all these people.
Not anymore.
No, dude. No, those dude.
That population got cut in half with kills.
Oh, dude, that and then like whoever was left, fucking Corey and Michael made sure that they're like, you know, that they're.
I just want to know if the lady that had the iron and kills got killed. Remember in the group where they're all getting ready to beat the hell out of Michael, and then there's this lady holding a clothes iron.
I think everyone died in that fucking. You know what? You sit there and we talked about it, Jerry, last year. You motherfuckers kind of deserve to die. After he gets up and you just all stand there and go, okay, one at a time. Try to fucking.
It was the 80s trope though. Like as much as that whole thing was just like, to me, the fact that they actually did that was kind of like, okay, well, this is like a callback to the 80s trope. And I kind of respect that they're doing that at the same time. So I don't know.
What I loved is that what Kills did is it kind of blue balled you in so many ways to where they're like, listen, Tommy's back, Lindsay's back, Sheriff Brackett's back,
right?
The nurse is back. But then it's like, also, we don't give a shit about a single one of these characters. Tommy's gone. Brackett's like saying his line and almost immediately gets his throat cut. Yeah. Like, I loved the like, not bravery because it's a fucking Halloween movie, but I liked the balls that they had to be like, oh, here are these legacy characters. Oh, and by the way, who gives a shit?
It reminds me of the day. So I was listening to a podcast. My friend Katie Peters, Josh, obviously she's been on the show a bunch. She did a review for Mars Attacks, and they were talking about how they told what do you call him, Tim Burton, he couldn't kill what's his name, Nicholson. So because he killed Nicholson. Yeah, because he was Nicholson, and they killed him twice. They had him come in as another character. It's the you say that can't do this, fuck you kind of shit. And that's kind of what it feels like with that, like they're like all this nostalgia for all these characters. I fucking
love that movie, man. Because it felt, that whole movie feels like that. It's just like, oh, you know what? Fuck everything. We're having fun, and that movie's so fun.
My wife, every single time, my wife and I, one of the things that she loves, and like she loves horror movies, but she could get her excited about things. Her favorite thing in the world is Michael Myers' arts and crafts and kills, because he's running around just like doing arts and crafts on bodies.
He's basically doing art installations.
Yeah, basically. And he's like, he's killing the old black lady's husband is the first one, and then he makes the thing on the merry-go-round, and then like the gay Little John and Big John. I still think it's hysterical that they had two guys who obviously are named off of their dick size. Look at him. Big John is smaller than Little John. You go, oh, okay, so they're going off their dick sizes as a joke. Either that or some pun because one's smaller. But I still like to always think it was just the dick sizes, and that that maybe Little John was the bottom and Big John was the top, and that's how they got to this point. And Also, that was another weird thing about Halloween Ends. Like they just go, yep, they demolished the house. Like they don't show it. Like they don't show it. They like being, torn down. And
It was. Oh, good.
I was gonna say, Laurie's house reminded me of the house from Halloween 4, or is it Halloween 5? Is it
right?
5? Yeah,
Five.
right.
Yeah.
Where like Michael Myers' house turns into a giant mansion from.
Dude, right? That and like everyone like talking trash on this movie. Like I said, what are you wanting in the 13th movie? That, and even that said, like, I'm sorry, but this is also one of the most gorgeously shot Halloween movies in existence. Like, good. And I usually hate needle drop moments, but I loved the music in this movie. Not just the Carpenter score, but like the actual songs. The Boy Harsher song fits the. Like, it almost felt like Lost Boys every time they got on that motorcycle.
Yeah. Well, that's why it reminded me of like Drive. Like it was that synth like score where you like going down the street. I've seen people photoshopping Michael's mask on Corey on the back of the motorcycle and shit like that. And I'm like, but like it's just, again, if it's people can't, like, you do something different, like you were saying, Jerry, and they're like, oh, it's different. And you do the same. Oh, it's the same. And it's like you can't win. You can't win. And I understand you have Halloween, which is one of the best movies ever made. One of the best. I mean, it's horror royalty. But like, you can't just do Halloween again. Like, Halloween has been made 100 times since then.
You got to do something different.
Yeah.
This is me remembering that I have the ability to edit on the fly, and I fucking forget every week. My God. I mean, okay,
we're here.
It's
okay, Josh.
We're here.
And
well, it's weird because, like, see, I even lost my train of thought because I'm getting frustrated talking about like internet people. I think the internet has given people the idea that, oh, this sounds so shitty to say, but I think the internet has given people the idea that their opinion fucking matters, and it doesn't. Yeah. Like, because what has happened? Oh, you don't like this Justice League? You know what? Hashtag release this cut. Oh, David Ayer made a piece of shit movie. Release this cut. Like, I like, at some point, when do fans not get the opportunity to dictate what a movie does? Yeah. Like, this is David Gordon Green's movie. Yeah. It might not every part might not work for me, but it's his movie, and the worst that it can happen is it sucks and I don't watch it.
Yeah. I mean, you forgot one of the bigger things too, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, like, but what? Come on, man! Like that one.
No, that just looks scary. I'm on board with that change.
That had to happen. That had to happen. And to be honest, like the before and after, man. Like I was like, this is the best marketing campaign I've ever seen, because there's no way they had to have just had that trailer done. And then they because to re-render out a whole movie with a new character, it's got to take so much time and money. There's no way they would have done that terrible of a job and let the internet decide to redo a whole
It delayed it like 6 months too.
I don't know, man. Like, dude, they did a good job with what they, the redo, but like, wow, they missed the. It's such a meme now. People get that tattooed on them now and stuff.
Chip and Dale did the ugly Sonic in it.
Right. Yeah, that was good.
That movie was wonderful, by the way.
It was really well done.
And I just learned the other day it was directed by the guy from Lonely Island that did like Pop Star, Never Stop, and stuff like that. I'm like, what? I was like, it didn't surprise me because I'm like, that movie like put a smile on my face for something that I thought was going to be shitty CGI, but it was cute, man, which is, I don't know. I love Andy Samberg. So
Andy Samberg was a really good choice for that.
Yeah, he was wonderful. It's funny, man, because I've just started kind of ignoring it. Like, even people that like the most constructive things, the guy, what's his name? John from Bloody Disgusting, who's one of their like head writers. Yeah. He was talking about, he's like, he was being reasonable about it. It was like, I approve. I was into the swings that they were taking, but they missed and it disconnected from it. He's like, you being reasonable about it. Like unlike everything we've talked about up until this point where everybody's like, oh my God, it's the worst thing ever. And it's funny because like we live in a culture in America. I mean, Josh, Canada to an extent too, but like we call everything the worst. Like, and we've been doing this for a while. Like, we,
because of the internet, can you even like? There's hardly a divide. We're like, I'm right there. I see everything the same time as you guys, and I talk about it with you every week. Like, there's hardly a divide, right? But
why I said that though, because I was talking about like I was going to use a political allegory here, like where it's like, so since I was in high school, George W. Bush was president. Oh my God, he's Hitler. And then you get like before him, his dad. Oh my God, he's Hitler. And then you get fucking Donald goddamn Trump, and it, like you're
and he is. No.
Yeah, you what I'm saying though is that we call it's like the whole like crying wolf. When you cry wolf over and over and over again, it loses its power. So you motherfuckers who keep calling every single film that you ever see the worst film ever made, it just goes, our brains just go, not whatever, we don't care, because you're gonna call everything the worst, right?
Well,
and
and people don't understand that just because you love someone doesn't mean, or something, that you have to like blindly like get on board with 100% of it.
Yeah.
Like I remember years ago when Blink-182 came out with Neighborhoods, I posted like, man, I do not like this album. And someone was like, well, you're not a real Blink fan then. And I've seen people do that with Halloween stuff.
Yeah.
It's like I breathe this shit, but I'm not going to pretend for a single second that it's perfect. There's only one perfect movie in the entire series, and it was made in 1978. Even some of my favorite ones. Halloween 4 is one of my favorite fucking pieces of art ever. Yeah. But there's so much wrong with that movie, and that's okay. There's nothing. You don't have to blindly love every single thing. Like I said, I loved this movie. I loved Ends, but there's fundamental issues with it that I have.
We talked about it. The fucking eye thing is just weird and felt more like the Halloween 5, 6 kind of thing. And we had like the weird like
how fast did their relationship progress?
They're like BFFs all of a sudden, right? They're like all of a sudden they're like, okay, let's go in and kill you.
Wait, like, you didn't?
Like,
yeah,
like you murdered someone, and my entire family's been murdered. Let's jump into bed.
Yeah,
you choked me, but didn't kill me. So that means you're never gonna kill me, right?
Yeah.
Cool. High five. Oh wait, high three.
I had in my head for like. I was wondering, and I maybe kind of actually would have gone with it and being like in an interesting thought process. I kind of for a second there thought they were making Michael Myers like a pigment of Corey's, like a figment. I said a pigment, a figment, and like I think that would have been fucking cool. Like it was like he's like, because let's be real, between Halloween kills, any human being, even Mike Myers would have died. That motherfucker was shot and stabbed, and
he got his neck stomped at the end of Kills.
Yeah, he gets hit with a pitchfork.
I've killed people with less than that.
Yeah, and you're sitting there going, he would be dead. Like so, like if you would have had him, like I honestly, and the idea I was wondering about because of Laurie picking up the phone at the end of the Kills, I was wondering if they were going to start the movie in 2018. Her go find him, kill him, and then like
that was the original plan.
Oh, because that seems like it would have been, and then you have like Corey come back and like thinks he's seeing Michael, or because of that, and it's like it felt like because the whole thing that when they started talking about the movie a couple months ago, like everyone's like, you're gonna hate this, like it was like they were trying to warn people that like.
But that's the world we live in with anything now. Like it honestly doesn't matter if they're on. Oh, I have a name. I have an. I don't know.
But I don't think.
But we're doing it right now. But the opposite. I feel like we're a dying breed, where it's like, hey, we appreciate anyone's like words, but just don't yell it.
Totally. That, and to be honest, I kind of prefer talking to people who disagree with me on a movie.
Yeah.
Because like if every conversation's like, no, I loved it, you loved it, where's the conversation? Yeah. I don't need to hear someone else say I loved it for the reasons you loved it, because I could just talk to the mirror and get just as much out of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I like hearing opposite. It's just there's no nuance today, especially online. It's like You're wrong.
Well, you could
for
do what
liking
Rod
it.
does
You're
and
wrong
just
for
have your
disliking
dick
it.
in your hand while you look in the mirror and talk to you.
In a steampunk outfit.
Yeah.
Exactly. The steampunk outfit or Beetlejuice costume, either or. I just like I tweeted out on Friday or Saturday morning before I even saw it. I was like, you motherfuckers can't enjoy anything because and I was like, it's just misery and like it sounds like you're like being
Yeah,
told
but
that
misery loves company.
yeah. It sounds like you're being told you're going to prison for 20 years, not that you're going to watch a movie about a evil dude killing people with a butcher knife, right? Like it's
Well, it's kind of like I think what we mentioned. I don't know if it was on the show or just through text. I know Rod and I we had this conversation that like most of the I think it was for Kills. Most of the people who are so venomously against Kills are the same people who championed the new Scream for what it had to say about fandom, without realizing that they were the same exact people that Scream was talking about.
Yep.
Yeah. But that's what I love, like, because Scream movies are always insanely meta, but that whole scene, it was just like it was a meta fucking like the triple decker sandwich.
Well,
and yeah, it was so good.
I mean, it's one of my favorite things as of late, Jerry, was all the people getting mad about Prey and like, oi, that little girl couldn't kill the predator. Little girl. And it's like,
Do you know how much of a dumbass you have to be to complain that the female character in Prey couldn't kill a predator?
Yep.
The predator doesn't fucking exist. It's an
Yep.
alien.
Well,
Where is the reality in that? And plus, to be honest, that girl could probably have taken on Dutch.
yeah. Well, the point was that you being strong and manly and just brute strength isn't how you deal with it. That was the point of Predator. That you did.
That was the point of Halloween Kills too.
Yeah. It's like you don't fucking sit and go with something evil or something like diabolical, and you just don't go and face it on its own fucking battlefield, right? You do something that's different. You use your brain. You do whatever, and it's just like. It's like, okay, we're gonna go into a stabbing contest with Michael Myers. How did that work out for everyone?
Well, it's like Lonnie. I loved Lonnie in Kills, and I loved his arc. But what did Lonnie and Cameron and Allison and Karen and every other person expect going to Michael Myers' house?
Yeah.
Like, you weren't gonna walk out of that.
Well, that and then you keep going, okay, let's go in one at a time. Hey, let's split up. Hey, it's like John, Big John and Little John. I'm sorry, you guys. I loved your characters. You were fucking adorable as shit. But as soon as you see someone broken into your house, I am
Run.
Fuck out. I'm calling 911. It's just like, why? And then Little John goes, Michael, and just like asks for himself to be murdered. You're like, and it's again, it's
You're like Michael?
Please.
I think honestly, people were like, because like the Kills had Michael being like really brutal, and this one it had someone else doing it as Michael. And to be honest, that we got to talk about the scene in the truck yard or whatever.
Yeah, the
junkyard.
Yeah.
Fuck, that was dope. Like I love the gags in that. His father character is just so awesome. Every line, even his death scene, everything, just like the full kit for him. You love him to death, and then he dies, and you're sad to see him go. But everyone else in that scene and the way they go was metal as fuck, and the way they chose to like film it, especially when that guy gets lit up, I was just like, dude, like that looks dope.
Yeah.
It reminded me
No,
of
I thought the kills. I thought the kills were so good in that movie. In this movie,
when once you hit that point where Corey loses his shit and keeps going, it is, I think, that like final third of the movie is just, it just doesn't like go. It puts its foot on the gas and doesn't like go, and it's like
opens up.
And him
and there's at the end when she has the upper hand, and you know who the victor is going to be. There's a shot where she's kind of delicately holding his hand while doing it. Yeah. And it someone had a really good point. I can't remember who told it to me, but like they were like, they started to think that like for Lori, this is the only intimate connection she's had her entire life.
Yeah.
And this is closure in so many ways. You know what I mean? So it's almost like an intimate thing of like, this is the moment that I get to let go, but I'm also scared to let go.
Also, there was some Jesus vibes going on in that scene. It was very like, I was like
crucified, dude.
Yeah. I was like, it's very like,
yeah,
they're telling I wonder what, if they're trying to say something there. I wasn't sure. But like, it is like, it's like you stabbing both.
This is the person. This is the embodiment of every pain of Haddonfield. This is the person. This is the thing that if this gets taken away, that pain is gone. This is the sacrificial trauma. That's 100% what that meant to me. Like I got choked up watching that shit, to be honest.
And the point they make where they're like, yeah, you guys needed another monster and you made it to Corey. Like you feel so bad for that kid because like I'm sorry, I couldn't help laughing. That kid getting eaten up the story. I keep laughing about
that terrified me. I don't know if it's because I'm a parent. I don't know how you felt, Jared. Like that fucking opening scene hit hard for me because I was like,
I told my wife, I was like, dude, I don't care if it was an accident or not, that Corey would not have left that house.
Yeah. Like, holy crap.
The kid was a little shit though, too, man. I mean, like, I understand, like, I don't understand the kicking the door down. Like I've kicked the door down once. I was in college. I was drunk. My roommates locked me out of the house at like 2:00 in the morning when we got back from the bar, and they wouldn't let me back in. So I kicked the front door. And one, I'm like, it wasn't that hard. But two, like, you sit there going, why is this kid standing in front of the door? Like,
well, we don't know that as an audience either, right? Like, that's why it hit hard for me, but also just because, you know, there's just this like responsibility thing, but also like, I don't like when kids die in a movie. It like that was accidental, but it was brutal. And it set the whole movie up for, holy fuck, they're going to, like, they went there because no other Halloween movie, he even said it himself. Mike Myers doesn't kill kids. And it sets it up for this guy's going to kill
Corey
anyone.
Does.
Yeah, Corey kills anyone.
Well, Michael did kill that kid in Halloween.
Lumpy, the kid that wanted to dance.
Yeah, he killed him, and it was like one of those things where it was like, it was so like weird. Like that was in the when like I've watched the 2018 and the times now that like some of those kills, you're like, if it wasn't for the neck snap, you wouldn't like, you know, be completely like, oh yeah, he killed, but like he kicked. He snapped the kid's neck, you know, and it's just like also, and before I forget, holy shit, like Corey, like being like psycho, man, Norman Bates, his fucking mom kissing him on the lips is one of the creepiest fucking things in that entire film.
She was the creepiest part.
I did love the dad or the stepdad or whatever. Like he has that line, and it's just like, I hope you find love.
Yeah.
Because he was like sitting in his chair like, I hate my life so much.
Yeah. He's like,
he was my favorite character, I think. Like every line out of his mouth was gold, and there was just like a genuineness to him and stuff. Mm-hmm. But like you were talking about like getting choked up. Like I just recently saw Clerks 3 with my buddy.
Oh, dude, same.
I saw it on my birthday at the Plaza Theater in Calgary, which closed down for years and then got reopened by a new owner or something. And they like Instagramified it, like made the entrance all pink and cool looking for like, so it's like the first theater that anything I ever worked on was ever screened at. It was closed. It was super nostalgic. And then I go and see that fucking movie of like all the characters I grew up loving. I was sitting in the like tearing and crying to this fucking movie. I'm like, Kevin, what are you doing to me? I came for a laugh, and I'm like, oh my god.
I watched that. I watched that this week, and I was like so choked up watching that movie because it's such a good examination on like your legacy and mortality, and you see these characters that you grew up loving Like, dude, like I was 14 when Clerks came out, and it was like my jam, you know. Like,
Oh my god.
I was an adult. I was an adult when the second one came out. Like, you pinpoint certain parts of your life to these movies, and it's the same with like Halloween, dude. Like Clerks 3, Halloween Ends, or even like I've watched Marcel the Shell with Shoes On probably
Oh my
3 or 4
God.
times this
It's
week
so
because
good.
I have never seen a movie that feels as pure and just genuinely good as that movie. It's
Yeah.
it's fucking perfection.
I saw it. I first time I saw it was at Cuff, like Calgary Underground Film Festival. Got it like a few months early, so I went and saw that in the theater, and then I had an opportunity to go and check it out again in the theater. So I don't know, that's the movie that we need to yell. We need to be loud because not enough people have seen that and will not because of like it has to be a movie that people watch because as soon as they do, they'll understand because it's a fucking amazing movie.
You would never think that a movie about a shell would kind of inspire you to think about what life and kindness and empathy and love and compassion and family and all that stuff really means.
Yeah.
Like it is an ASMR for just emotions and joy.
Dude, you talk about that, and that's the exact way I felt about Swiss Army Man until the fucking ending.
And well,
film went completely off.
It gets really dark on the last scene. Essentially, it leaves you with like a feeling.
But it was the vulgar kind of version of what you're talking about, where it was like you can just being okay with yourself and using whatever you have to get through and then you go, oh, and this motherfucker is like crazy and like, you know, stalked his woman and you're just like, and it was I always talk about that. I'm like, that movie was so close to being like one of my favorite movies of all time.
Have you watched Marcel yet, Ron?
No, I haven't. No,
dude, watch it as soon as you can, man.
Yeah.
Like I cannot vouch for that movie enough. It's easily one of my favorite movies of all time already.
Yeah,
I'm watching it again tonight.
Dude, I saw you praising it. I'm like, yeah, I got to check this out. It's funny because you guys are talking about it in that film. Like the trailers, I was like, this looks cute, but it also looks like it can
I feel the same way about Everything Everywhere All at Once. Like that one has enough of all the worlds that I love, and bringing back like one of my favorite actors from when he was a kid and learning his life and why he left and why he's back now. And he brought it so hard too. These A24 movies are just on a whole nother level this year, making the best cinema to watch in theaters. Like I saw both those in theaters twice, both those movies. A24, I can't.
That and Disasterpiece scored Marcel the Shell, and I was like, man, this score is so good. And then he also scored Bodies, 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 which is a completely different movie and another example of just how like great A24 is doing this year.
Dude, the scene with the butt plug looking awards is one of my favorites. They're just trying to get on the butt plugs and
But look who we're talking about too. She looks so different in that movie, and wow, like she is. I loved her in this. By the way, I thought she brought it. She's a fierce. We're obviously talking about Jamie Lee Curtis. She's fierce. She's a fucking badass, and I don't know. She's icon status, and you know, it runs in the family, I guess. You know,
dude. I love her talking now. I don't know if I assume you've seen Jerry like her going, yeah, I would do another Freaky Friday with Lindsay Lohan. I'm like,
right?
Got off the rails, Jamie, and I fucking completely support you. Like, you know, being like, you know, back there. And I had a discussion with some horror blogger on Twitter the other day about, she was like posting early, like, you know, Jamie Lee things like her and Fog and, you know, Halloween and obviously, Prom, which by the way is that movie, man. I didn't see that until recently, a couple years ago, and I'm like, this is.
Dude, I love Prom Night.
It was not what I expected.
I love all those movies.
I like the second one better. I like the second because the second one just went batshit crazy with the
Mary Lou one.
Yeah, but like she's so good in everything she does. Like, I mean, it's just like she just embraced, being the scream queen, embraced doing. And the Fog, I still think The Fog is like one of Carpenter's like most underappreciated films, right? Like, it's like,
definitely.
I gotta say, like, we don't get a lot of that anymore, but I feel like what's her name from the new Scream, and she's Wednesday and all that, or Ortega, I believe.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like she gets it and is setting herself up to be that new Scream queen, and is totally there and ready to like have someone pass a torch down to her, because she is fucking killing it in everything,
especially
like horror
this
related.
year. Yeah.
Yeah.
That her and the what's her name from X and Pearl, that chick fucking,
oh right, yeah,
she fucking kills it, man. And it's just like,
It's Shia LaBeouf's wife, right?
is that who that is?
Mia Goth. Yeah.
I don't think they're together anymore.
Okay, wait, friggin'
I have no clue. This is like, now we're TMZ, so
Right.
well, Jerry's about to got to run anyways. So I'm so glad you got to come back and
hell yeah, dude.
Talk it. And dude, you're always welcome. So like, whenever you get settled in your like hellscape of everything, Jerry, you
mean not in a hotel room?
Yeah.
Hey.
Also, just pimp it out real quick because it's coming out the 28th.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Brett, I'm so bad at talking about my own stuff.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
I just finished. Oh god.
No, you go if you want to do it, man.
Yeah. I just finished the score to the new Puppet Master movie, Dr. Death, and that's coming out on the 28th, which is a week from Friday. It'll be on Full Moon streaming, and I think soon after that, Tubi, Blu-ray, and all that stuff. It was a lot of fun. It was definitely a learning lesson. I hope everyone digs it.
Dude,
I'm so stoked for you, man. That's so fucking cool. I like, we're all horror fans, and like anytime anyone that I know or like even like met once, or just like affiliated with, even like we know you and we love you, man. And to see your success, it makes us so fucking stoked, and like I can't wait to see it, man.
Thanks. Also, really quickly, just speaking on Halloween really quick before I go, if anyone is on the fence about buying that new 4K collection, the Halloween 6 H2N Resurrection one, I'm not saying I'm worth it, but I did the music for all of the new special feature documentaries on the Resurrection disc. Worked really hard at it. Hope everyone likes it. So there's that too. And there's like a new King Kong 4K coming out for the 70s version. I did the music for that too. So pick those up.
Dude, killing it, Jerry. Killing it. Yes, dude. I'm so proud of you for, just kicking ass and doing awesome work, man. And
my dad's losing his mind.
Find him at a donut shop someday. So yeah, follow Jerry. His thing is Jerry is just okay. Everyone. So follow him everywhere. He's an awesome follow.
No, Jerry is just amazing.
Yeah, he is. Jerry got me so fucking hooked on the new Devil Wears Prada album. I've listened to that like 1,000 times already, dude.
So good, right?
I texting Jerry all the time, like, yeah, I love this. So yes, follow Jerry everywhere. Go support Dr. Death. The new Puppet Master. I said fuck it. It's my first Puppet Master movie. I'm diving in, watching that shit when it comes out the 28th. So watch it. Josh, do you know what we want to do next week? Do you have any ideas?
There's so much coming out. I don't know.
We can tweet it out then. Yeah, we'll tweet it from the thing and figure it out. So, JoshWRB.com, Josh WRB on Twitter, MurderMoose.com, Murder Moose Pod on Twitter, I think is what it is. Just follow us everywhere. Follow our YouTube where Gizmo things are going and everything. So,
YouTube, yeah, it's slapping.
Rod_Johnson on everything. So. Love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Jerry, you're fucking man. I love you. And I'm glad we talked about this like right away and didn't bullshit. So, okay, guys. Thanks for listening. Jerry, you're not just okay. You're fucking amazing. So love you guys. We will catch you guys next week for whatever. Listen or watch our Twitter and we'll tell you. So love you guys. Talk to you soon.
Bye.